rodeo is not child's play. Unless it's the Florida Junior Rodeo Circuit. Every weekend across the state, you'll find kids ages 6 to 14 competing in some of the most physically grueling events out there. And that's just one competition. Most of these kids compete in a bunch of events. Bull riding, barrel racing, pole bending, and bareback riding. And in this arena, where the biggest, fastest, most physically skilled kids will take the lead, we find Randy Johnson. Randy used to compete on the rodeo circuit, but as a young man, a swimming accident left him paralyzed.
Rodeo was something that was close to my heart. I made my living ranching and breaking horses, rodeoing a little bit. And when I broke my neck, I thought, well, that's all behind me, you know, and I dismissed everything from my past except for my family. And for 16 years, I stayed away from rodeo at all.
Randy's accident served as a wake-up call to his relationship with God.
I'd give my life to him when I was 12. I just knew that I was to serve the Lord, and I'd been doing everything but serving him. But I'd finally entrusted my entire life to God, and he showed me what he could do with what was left of it.
Get ready now. While I was barrel racing, somebody touched me. While I was pole bending, somebody touched me.
Randy rededicated his life to God and began a street ministry, but it was still 16 years before God led Randy back to the rodeo. Randy and his wife, Kid, are now Mission Service Corps volunteers and the chaplains for the Florida Junior Rodeo Association and the Florida High School Rodeo.
God started burdening my heart that there's a mission field there. God opened that door, and since 91, doors continue to open, and we've seen a lot of people come to the Lord, families renewed, and just everything that God specializes in, we've seen it happen, but in this area of rodeo.
Hey, let me give you a hand with that.
Hey, watch it. This is mine.
Well, I'm sorry, this looked like a heavy load. I thought I might could help.
Randy and Kid are here every Sunday to give church to the cowboys and cowgirls and their families.
This is where my dad kicked my poor old dog for no good reason. That old dog never did nothing to him. And
It's a church without walls, in a sense. You know, we meet in the grandstands or in a parking lot or, you know, wherever God, a barn or wherever God opens the door. But people are hungry to know Jesus.
Have you ever heard of something called forgiveness?
oh, yeah, I forgive, but I'll never forget.
The services are for cowboys, kids, and kid cowboys, so sometimes they're a little bit different.
You say you know somebody that collects them?
I sure do. His name is Jesus. He'll take those. He'll help you to forgive. He'll help you to forget.
Rodeo is a subculture, and a lot of people these days really don't relate to it. I had one lady that came up to me a couple years ago that had said, you know, you guys are just part of us. You're just one of us.
I'm sorry. I've sinned. I was wrong. Instead, well, he made me do it. You young people don't ever say that, do you?
Randy and Kid do relate to this rodeo crowd.
Well, ever since I've been in junior rodeo, we've gone to all of his church services. I like it because, you know, I don't get bored. They always have the skits and everything, and they always have the songs. And then it also teaches you that you need to thank the Lord and you need to believe in the Lord and stuff like that. So I think it's very good.
Sometimes you think the kids don't take some of it in with them talking and how they drift off a little bit or something, but we've had our daughter Jessica come back and say, well, remember, Daddy, about this or that. And so it sinks in.
Oh, say, can you see?
It's amazing sometimes to look back on your life and see how God has prepared you all your life for something. I went to nursing school, and so I was a nurse, and I had already cared for quadriplegics before we had even met. And so the Lord had even prepared me for that. And then when he put us together and we felt like we were called together, he had just prepared both of us for it. And so it was really neat to see God's hand from way back.
How do you feel, what does God do for you? How do you feel that he plays into your competition?
I know without him I would never be
For
able
the
to...
past 7 years, God has kept Randy and Kid riding the rodeo circuit. They are the ministers to families away from their churches and the witnesses to others still searching for God. But the story doesn't end there. God not only brought Randy back to the rodeo, he now has a chance to get back in the saddle. The Florida High School Rodeo and Junior Rodeo Association has given Randy a specially designed saddle so that he can ride again.
It was really liberating. It just felt so good, to be on horseback again. So I believe it was one of those things, and like in the Bible where he says he'll give us the desires of our heart, I believe it was the desire of our heart that God entrusted this ministry to us.
And in some ways, I think it's, we're nobodies from nowhere. And I think he likes to show that if we can do something and make a difference, then anyone can. And with our limitations, it's hard a lot of times. God only knows how much effort it takes for us in our situation to be able to do what we do. And I think God sometimes wants to show people that if we can do it, then anyone can.
There was such a thrill, to get back and be able to ride again.